In studio with Asaf Rosenheim. Asaf is a board member of the organization Men Having Babies, also with the Israeli Gay Fathers Association. You wear many hats professionally. Perhaps the most important one is of a dad. I want to ask just your thoughts on the surrogacy issue, which is clearly the tipping point for so much outrage and frustration. It's drawing record crowds expected tonight. But most people won't need surrogates. Most of Israeli society, they're not gay or lesbian. Why is this issue, do you think, such a tipping point that resonates with so many people?
Right. Well, thanks for asking. I think the first thing to think about is when you talk about the surrogacy law, it's really a symptom of a government that has abandoned its citizen, is not representing their citizen anymore. I think a few weeks ago, we saw a law that, again, was discriminating against a specific and maybe a small group for so long, was trying to be corrected. And then the Israeli community, the Israeli society was lied to that it was going to be corrected. And again, because of political game, it was changed to remain so discriminating. But if the surrogacy law was the match, I think the LGBTQ movement for equality was some kind of a bonfire. And that now what we're seeing is a wildfire that is going through the Israeli society that is not about the gay community anymore only. It's really about our brothers and sisters, about the elderly, about the disabled, about our blood brothers, the Druze, the Israeli Arabs. And when we talk about the
there are minority groups from all walks of life who are involved in these LGBT events and these rallies. It seems to be just sparked by that surrogacy vote, and it all unleashed now.
Exactly. And the surrogacy vote is very important, and we're going to continue fighting for it. But I think we've joined forces with the other gay communities and other parts of the Israeli society to bring this country that we really all love. I came back to Israel after 15 years in the States, and many of my friends asked me, why did you come back? I think it's really amazing to be here and be part of the Zionist dream, but we also want to make sure that we live in a place that is secure for us, where we provide not only the laws to protect the minority groups, but we also make sure that there's no discrimination against them.
You've heard, of course, the feedback and the criticism from some who live in Jerusalem who maybe even support the LGBT community, but don't want the route or the parade through Jerusalem. Right. They believe it tramples on their religious expression. That it's not holy. It should be, the movement should be the public expression somewhere else. What do you say to them?
Well, I can say a few things about it. First of all, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. I grew up in Jerusalem. I think it's a really wonderful city that is very progressive if you really look into it. But sometimes the sounds that we hear are very much against it. And when you have 100 rabbis that sign a petition and call our families and say that they are not real families, say that our kids need to be taken away from us and given to what they call normative families, are saying that we are perverts, then it's time for us to march. There's a saying in English, don't piss on me and call it rain. So when that happens, you don't just take out an umbrella. You really want to stand up for your rights and make sure that you're being seen. And being seen means walking through the capital of the country.
What about, though, for the tens of thousands who will be there tonight in Jerusalem because of that tension, the risk of violence, the fear of violence that's happened in years past? Is it worth that risk?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think it's actually the main reason why you need to go out and march today. And if you're still at home, I'm urging you to hop into the car or into the public transportation and go to Jerusalem and show that you're not only part of history, but you're on the right part of history.
All right. Asaf, I know particularly this year, I want to ask very quickly, just the Prime Minister's vote. Personally, what did that mean to you when he released that video and then he voted against the surrogacy law? How did it impact you?
Right. Well, I have to say that I didn't have very high expectations, but Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu is my prime minister, and he is my leader, even if I didn't vote for him. And I expect him not only to fight for me, but also to protect people like me.
All right. Asaf Rosenheim, board member with Men Having Babies. Sir, thank you so much for being here on the show. Appreciate your perspective, and stay right